Here are a couple of questions that I have from section DMA 70, section 3. So, as we look at this particular problem, what we're going to start with is when they set up their problem, they leave a particular part out that I like to include, where we have x over x cubed plus 9x squared plus 20x. They leave out the place where you need to figure out what you're going to multiply by to get what is going to be the least common multiple. This is what you would be using as you're in section 4 when you're adding rational expressions that have different denominators. You'll have to go through the process of making equivalent fractions. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this denominator that they gave me, and I see that all of them have an x, and that'll leave me with x squared plus 9x plus 20. I then can further factor this trinomial. On y1, you would do 20 divided by x, second table, look for 9. You end up with an x plus 4 and an x plus 5 to give you the middle term 9, and when you multiply them, you get the 20. So what we have here is we have an x, we have the x plus 4, we have the x plus 5. What we're missing is the x plus 9. So that is what we're going to have to multiply both top and bottom, because remember, you can always multiply any fraction times 1 and have an equivalent expression. So as we multiply here, we're going to distribute here and here. So x times x is x squared. X times 9 is a plus 9x. Okay? So that's the first one. Let's look at the next one. So as for this one, we have 8y plus 2 over 5x squared minus 30. We've got to figure out what do we multiply by to get this denominator of 10x squared minus 60. Now for this particular problem, they're going to make us do a little more factoring. So we got to work for this a little bit more. In this first denominator, we can factor out the common factor of 5, and that leaves me with x squared minus 6. On the right-hand side, this is not factored out completely. Oh, where do we go? On this side, it's not completely factored. We can factor out a 10, and that would leave us with an x squared minus 6. So I have a 5 here, I have a 10 here. I need to multiply 5 by 2 in order to get 10. The x squared minus 6 is identical for both. And like I said, the 5, I have to times it by 2 to get the 10. So what I have here is 2 over 2, and I'm going to distribute, multiplying the 2 times both of those terms. So we have 16y, and then 2 times 2 gives us 4. And for this third problem, okay, this is a division. So the left-hand side, whenever we have a division, remember the first term stays the same. So we have x minus 7, x plus 5 over 5x to the 8th. The division becomes multiplication, and then we're going to write the reciprocal. So the denominator, 10x to the 9th, now becomes my numerator, and my denominator of 2, excuse me, I was already trying to factor it in my head. Here, the 2x minus 14, we would write that first. I need to recognize that this can be factored to factor out a 2, and then that leaves me with x minus 7. Now that I've factored it, let me mark this out. So what do we have in common for both of these? Both of these have the x minus 7. And what I have on the top is 10x to the 9th, parenthesis, x plus 5. On the bottom, I need to multiply this 5 times 2. That's going to give me 10, and I have x to the 8th. I still need to do some further simplifying. So 10 and 10 both cancel out. if I have 9 x's and I subtract 8, all of these are gone and I'm left with just 1 x on the top. So my final solution is a x, parenthesis, x plus 5. And there was nothing in the denominator because that completely canceled. And there you go. Hope this helps.